Your reaction?
Hugh, the Democrats are angry at the American people for not giving them total control in Washington for the last 10 years. If they win this election, they're not going to let the American people do that to them again. They're going to fundamentally alter the rules of American politics, change the nature of American government. It's not just eliminating the filibuster so they can make D.C. a state for two Democratic senators in perpetuity. It's effectively eliminating the Electoral College, and as Joe Biden revealed on Tuesday night, packing the Supreme Court as well. So they can take away your guns, so they can encroach on your right to worship God as you see fit, so they can force your tax dollars to pay for abortion until the moment of birth and sometimes beyond it, so they can take your property and give it to some giant multinational corporation. That's what the Democrats have in store for the American people. If they win in November, that's why the American people shouldn't trust them with power.
Senator, I just had this discussion with my friend Chuck Todd. I believe the refusal to answer the question about court packing is disqualifying because to pack the court is to destabilize the republic. I am going to spend the rest of the time before the election explaining to people why that is. Should Joe Biden be allowed to dodge that question?
No, Hugh. He was asked on Tuesday night. Chris Wallace let him dodge it. He should be asked the question, and there should be no further questions asked until he answers it. Look, he keeps saying, I'm not going to answer the question because my answer would become an issue. His answer would only become an issue if he says yes. If he says no, it puts the issue to bed. I can't accuse him of court packing anymore. Donald Trump can't accuse him. If he simply says, no, I will not pack the Supreme Court under any circumstances, the issue is put to bed. The fact that he won't say it, the fact that Kamala Harris won't say it, the fact that Chuck Schumer won't say it tells the American people that, yes, they intend to pack the court and to take away your rights. That's why they can't be trusted with power.
Can you explain, even though you're a Harvard Law grad, and I'm not sure they teach the Constitution that I teach at Chapman and learned at Michigan, but just in case they do, can you explain why packing the court is so radical? I just had Chuck said it's happened before. It actually hasn't happened before, except after the Civil War, and it was destructive then. It would be devastating now.
Yeah, so first off, Hugh, let me respond to your scurrilous mudslinging. I've been clean of the law for 15 years.
Okay, you're right.
And I'm not going to have a relapse. But to pack the court for partisan ends simply because you don't like the results of previous elections, which led to the nominations of justices whose judicial philosophies you may find disagreeable, is to turn the court into nothing but a super legislature, to impose your own political preferences on society, preferences that you can't enact through the ballot box and through legislatures. Now, if that happens once, that's just a recipe for it happening repeatedly over time. And that means that in the end, we undermine the rule of law, the sense that there are written laws, whether it's our fundamental law, the Constitution, or the laws that we pass in Congress or through state legislatures that matter, that bind our conduct between two different parties in a case. The judiciary simply becomes another forum for politics, for legislating, for horse trading, for coalition building. It is destructive of the rule of law, which is a foundational principle of our republic.
I would also add, when the United States Supreme Court told Richard Nixon to turn over the tapes 9-0, he did. If the United States Supreme Court becomes a political body, as it would under Chuck Schumer and the Democrats and Joe Biden, a future president will say to that body, screw yourself. You're just a bunch of the other party's activists. That's what's ahead, Tom Cotton. People have got to focus on it.
Yeah, and I think, again, that Joe Biden's refusal to rule this out, this most radical thing, something that not even FDR at the height, not only of his political power, of any president's power in our history, couldn't accomplish, goes to show how beholden he is to the radical left. They don't care about foundational principles like the rule of law. They only care about their radical vision for society and seizing the power it takes to implement that vision.
All right, my last question has to do with a very sensitive subject, tax returns. I don't ever want my tax returns made public because I don't want people to know how much I make or what I give money to. But Hunter Biden has tax returns that will tell us if he has a relationship with the Chinese Communist Party. Is there any way that the Senate Intelligence Committee can view those and preserve Mr. Biden's privacy at the same time?
Hugh, tax returns are the province of the Finance Committee and the Ways and Means Committee. They do have, under law and Senate and House rules, the opportunity to view those. Look, the reporting that we've already seen about Hunter Biden raised really troubling questions. If the Biden campaign wants to clear that up, they can simply release those returns. Now, I know that they say that Donald Trump should release his. Well, the New York Times claims to have access to them, And in all the reporting, they don't say anything about Russia, which I think we can infer means there's nothing in there about Russia. We don't know that about Hunter Biden.
We ought to see, not us, not the public, but some appropriate agency of government should understand whether or not there is a compromise that must be told to the American people. Senator Tom Cotton, there may not be.